Welcome into another exciting episode of the Power Hour. I, of course, am Steve, and with us every week is the greatest of all time, the urban sensation, Che Rojo, C Red. How you doing, Red? And then, of
I'm
course,
here.
we have the video master, Rion Skills. We'll be updating our photos all night. Cactus Rack is stuck somewhere in the city in a train with no power. Maybe she shows up, maybe she doesn't. Time will tell on that one. And of course, our guest tonight is none other than probably one of the hardest working referees in the business right now. He calls it right down the middle, just like that shirt says, which you can buy. And this is, of course, Ref Cristian. Hello, Ref Cristian. How are you, sir?
Hello. Thank you for having me on the show. I really do appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, and we're
do.
going to get into everything about you. And there are many levels to what you are, as C Red just found out during pre-production. But before we start, let's take off the silly glasses. Let's take off the glasses altogether. And I want to speak directly to everybody that's viewing and maybe those that aren't viewing. A few weeks ago, I went on a rant that I said everybody should be better to each other than they are. And I still believe that. And, I think that's still very important. And last week, we had an episode where we had 16 guests over the course of a 2-hour span. And it was probably one of the shows that I'll always be proudest of because it worked beautifully. Our special Rachel, she was thrilled at what happened. It went great. And that was a lot of people coming together with love in their hearts. And I feel like that's the key here. Red, Rion, Rachel, and I don't get paid to do the Power Hour. There's no compensation from anybody. We do it because we're friends in real life. We try to hang out together sometimes. I like coming in on a Tuesday night to hang out with C Red and Rion and whatever guest we're having. And Cristian, we're glad to have you tonight. But it's camaraderie, it's friendship, it's fun. It's a chance to talk to these people, and it's a chance to interact with them intimately on a weekly basis. And I need that. I need that in my life. I need these people in my life. They're very important to me. They're like my family in many ways. And again, we talk about a lot of shows. We talk about a lot of promotions that we all work with, and we try to promote our passion. If it's RPW this week, so we're going to talk a lot about RPW as the show goes on. CTW, CSW, SCW, IPW, wherever there's a W and we're involved, we're going to talk about it and we're going to promote it. There's one thing I want to say, and this is true. And there are very specific people that need to hear it. And I just want to remind them because I feel like in this industry, there are some people that still see me as the guy that started way back in 2014. I'm almost a 10-year guy in this business at this point. I'll never be a vet to the people on this show because they're all my peers. They're people I've grown up with. They've taught me this business. The people in this room have taught me this business. I've learned a lot from them because I fucking listened to them. Here's the thing. Nobody can call me and dictate what I'm going to talk about and what I'm not going to talk about on this show unless they're on the fucking show flyer. So I am a professional. I'm perfectly capable of understanding what I want to speak about, what I don't want to speak about, and I'm professional enough to know when to leave well enough alone. But I feel like there are people out there that feel that they need to voice their opinions when their opinions aren't necessary. So I don't mean this as disrespectful. If you were paying me to do it, I'd do anything you say. If you were paying me to do this podcast, you could dictate exactly what I talk about. There are 3 people in this world that can dictate what happened on this show other than me. And that's C Red, Rion Skills, and Cactus Rack. Those are the only 3 people. And Cactus has kept me out of trouble many times. She has dictated many times what is happening on this show. Red, just last week, has an idea for a special guest. We will do that whenever Red wants to fucking do it. Those are the only 3 people that are in my ear that I will listen to in regards of topics and subject matter. Anybody else, it doesn't matter what you say. So I love you all, and I appreciate every week the people that do watch this show. And more and more people message me over the course of the week and say, hey, listen, I really loved your show. That was my favorite episode of the Power Hour, this, that, and the other thing. And for all of you that do watch us, it validates us. It makes us feel good that we're entertaining you in some form or fashion. Even the JFW guys, they listen, watch, and they say nice things most of the time. If there are people out there that are watching and interacting with us, we'll keep doing it because we love to do it. That's why we do it. We don't get paid. It's not required to be in this business and have a podcast, but we've been doing it for a while now, and I like to think we're pretty good at it, and people seem to like it. But no one's going to dictate what we talk about on this show. So for those of you that feel like you want to give me advice, I'll always listen, but nobody, unless you're Sean Young, Rod, or Rachel, are going to dictate a damn thing that happens on this show, period. So problem with that, that's your problem, not mine. Now, that being said, we're going to move right on through this, and we're going to talk about things right down the middle. Cristian, Red usually gives the roses, but I want to give you some roses right off the bat here. You bust your ass as a referee. Now, I've been around great referees my whole career. I've been very lucky. Lou, Turtle, Kevin Woods. I mean, Flat Top Dave. I mean, I've got to work with some really great officials. Ref Dev. I mean, we have some really great officials. And if people are watching wrestling and don't understand how critical referees are to what this business means and what it does, then you don't understand this business, and you probably you don't get it. They are every bit as important as the athletes that are working. They're critical. They're the hub of what happens in many cases. So I love what you do. You take more bumps than just about, and bumps that suck. That Wrestle League ladder match, dude, I thought you died twice.
Yeah, I did.
Although many people deserve death in that ladder match. Russell.
Oh yeah.
You.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Russell, poor Russell.
So, but like I said, for those that don't appreciate what Cristian brings to this business, he is a general in that ring, and I have seen him make calls and make decisions and do things that help perpetuate what's going on. And I've watched him in that leadership role in multiple places. And I know a match is in good hands when he's running out there in the zebra shirt. So in case you don't hear this enough, I think you're outstanding at what you do. I think you're one of the best I've ever seen at what you do. And if you do bring this back into the wrestling side and you become a wrestling ref, a lot like our friend Turtle is, I will look forward to calling your matches at some point very much, because I know you understand this business better than most do. So I don't give the roses often, but I felt like I needed to give those roses to you. Red, do you have anything to add to that? Because I'd like you, of all people, coming from Windy City and being a psychological mastermind when it comes to storylines and storytelling in this business, you know how important the referee is. You could teach a class on it. What do you have to add?
Shit, you can't have a match without a damn ref. That's just the bottom line. I mean, you just got two people out there, or four people, or however many people. You just got people out there just fighting.
I got to ask Rian a question. Is that devil's anus having you tied up in the ropes there, Rian? That looks like our friend Devin August, who I thought on the flyer it said devil's anus. That's just a funny little thing that happened on social media.
There's a match I did it was Rian and Scarecrow, and there's a clip it's on Rocket Pros on YouTube, and I was so like concentrated in the match that I think Rian or Scarecrow, one of them was like doing Irish whip into a corner, and I was following them, and I tripped a little bit. I tripped on my foot, and I caught myself and stuff. I was like, snap, hopefully no one saw it, because I was like so focused in the action, like focused on the roll and stuff. I wasn't even paying attention to anything that was going down below. I was like, bro, I'm hoping no one saw I just tripped right now. But no, Rian's matches are always fun to ref. His matches are always great. I always love it.
Speaking of Rian and his matches, we will talk about his adventures that he's going to have this weekend at RPW. And I want to ask Rion about something exciting I heard. I think he's pulling double duty this Saturday and doing something a little different after he signs his contract at Rocket Pro Wrestling. So we'll get more from Rion Skills eventually as the night goes on. But Red, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue.
No, I'm just again. I said it. Without the ref, it is no fucking match. And refs are so underappreciated. When you have to think about most shows, most have 2 referees. And you figure the average show has 8 matches. That means they have to remember 4 matches apiece. They have to remember finishes. They have to remember special spots to look out for. You know, anything that the promoter, has planned, they have to know. And they have to keep all of that in their head, memorized, just within a matter of a few hours. And hell, I have one match. I gotta try to remember just one match. And I got what we doing? Okay, and then we doing and no, go back to the beginning. Go back. The refs don't get that. The refs don't get, I mean, if they are there in a prompt time, and they know what matches they might have, they might be able to talk to the guys. Okay, this is the finish. Okay. But to try to remember all of that shit in
Plus, they got to
order,
keep everybody on time.
dude, well, some do and some don't.
Well,
I will say Christian does. Does. But I have been in the ring with some refs just, hey, I'm just here to the finish.
So if I can add on, some refs, there's no shot at anyone, but there's some refs I have worked with in the past, like it's like if you wrestle anyone that kind of doesn't know what they're doing, it's not because they're green, but they're just there. They don't allow themselves to either learn or they don't allow themselves to take criticism. Same thing with refs. Like there's some refs that I've worked the same place with that just sit in the corner. It's like a front row ticket. It's a front row ticket to them, and that's not what's supposed to be. You're as much as in the action. Like I'll be when I first started training, when I was training and stuff. The first drills I was taught when I was reffing was like, we're going to call this whole match, and I want you to remember everything. And then when they're recalling the match, I'm in the back. They'll tell me, okay, what's the next spot? And I'll be like, oh, it's this. And they're like, okay, what's the next spot after that? Okay, this. And then they'll go on from there. But that's how they made sure I knew I was paying attention. And there might be there's always hiccups when you first start doing stuff. But I remember my first ever show, I was I was doing the hands on knees, and I was just I felt like I was just watching. When in the back, my trainer and Quinn and pretty much any vet that was in the back at that point was like, what the hell is it? Blah, 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 all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, snap. And I got grounded, kind of yo, put that in your head that
look at
you
that
are
clean cut punk. Look at that clean cut punk.
That was
is that Quinn Whittick as a youth?
Who is that?
Damn.
Yeah.
You got George Clooney here, son.
I have not seen that chin in over a couple of years since COVID, I want to say. Oh, no, I haven't seen it since COVID. Because I remember when COVID happened, I just grew all my facial hair out because all the barbershops were closed. Because I like getting my stuff done by professional. Because when I be doing it, sometimes it comes out uneven because I'm trying to look at a mirror and it looks really wonky. But I like going to professionals for that. But no, I just get that information being into me yo, you are not a fan anymore. You are, when you're in that ring, you are in there. You are part of the business. So I was being into that. And when And even my first times when I was doing outside bookings that were outside my training, the training place I was training, I messed up a couple of times, and then I'll get grounded like, yo, not like beat down, but like just like grounded, like, yo, you need to like listen, you need to pay attention, all that stuff, because like nerves build up and stuff, and that's where and I had anxiety and just like stuff from my childhood, and I didn't know how to react to like a big crowd or any of that. Now it's like, oh, okay, it's a big crowd, cool. Now I can just go out there and like be cool with it and not have to worry about like people saying. Like, I used to worry about what fans used to say, like, "Oh, you suck, ref," and I used to feel down and stuff. But I don't feel that anymore because I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm cool. Like, see, this is why you cannot use chords in live stream. But no, no, it's just I know that I messed up in the past, and I learned from my mistakes because you have to learn from your mistakes. If you are ignorant to, and this is what I learned, if you are ignorant to your mistakes, you're going to repeat them. And if you don't want to listen to other people, even if it's like something that, like, yeah, it might be like something you heard a million times, like, oh, do you want to do this and do this? Yes, I heard a million times, but I'm still going to take that in and like, okay, what's their point of view on that? Is it the same as what I already learned, or is it a different take on that? And that's all. Like I just learned. I learned from whoever has experience, and like definitely has. And even like there's sometimes where we'll be going like I'll be going on a match with like it'll be like a rookie match, and I'll learn so much from not like the rookie, but just the way certain things are like done in matches, and like even a squash match, I'll be like, oh, okay, so that's how that's done, and that's where you put that there. Like there's certain things you can put in. Like I'm not like a ring vet or none of that stuff. I'm like only like 6 years in the business, I want to say 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like 6, 7-ish. I'll say 6 years. But like I just know, and also just astounding because like there's like certain things you can hear from crowds. Like if I know, like people be like, oh, take this and I'll come grab you. I'm like, no, I can like, and this isn't like a thing or anything, but it's just like when I took the cutter from Quinn, right? Bam, I took that, and I knew they're going to like do the whole work this thing where they're going to grab the ref. I'm already knocked down, but I'm going to hear like if I hear like the crowd reacting to like the shovel or the crowbar or like whatever their deal is before me to wake up. That's where I wake up because I know there's like a bump or a sound, and that's where I go and like okay, I just might thing wake up or start getting moving and stuff, and then I do the 1, 2, and whatever they need from there.
That
but
is
it's all sound.
Yeah, that's the fascinating part. And that's a glimpse behind the curtain of how tuned in and important referees are, because a lot of the storytelling has to translate through them. If he misses a spot, it doesn't have the impact that it would. And I know from working various places that there are some wrestlers that, you know, like at CSW, Turtle is a very, very high-ranking official, and there are certain athletes in that locker room that will only have their matches reffed by him because they're comfortable with him, because they know that he is going to do what is necessary to get over the story they're telling. And I think that's very important because the refs have to be storytellers too, because if you inadvertently get hit by a cutter, you take that bump, and then you have to know when to get back involved. So I think,
sorry for cutting up, but also without having them like go out and grab you, unless the story calls for that, or unless the match calls for that. But you can't have them always rely on like tugging you or grabbing you. You have to like also like learn how to like, okay, when also not looking too, because when I took that cutter, I was pretty much outside the apron with my ass leaning on the ring. So I couldn't see anything, but at the same time, I'm not going to move my body unless someone moves me because it makes it look fake. I'm not going to do that. It takes away, because if you look at ref and you're like, oh, I can't see him doing that in like a real sport, so it breaks the suspense of disbelief. So it's just how a wrestler, when he throws a punch and the other guy doesn't sell, then like, oh, okay, so it looks fake and all that stuff. But if a ref took a punch, I don't want that ref moving unless like it calls for him to like move or something like that.
and there's Cristian draped over the ring apron, dead.
Yeah,
that
was accidental actually. So when I took when Quinn gave me the cutter, I was like, okay, in my head, I know I'm going to go off to the corner. So I went and did like one or two spins, and then I accidentally did a third spin because of the momentum that was happening with that. And so my instead of being laid up in the corner where I can just like be down, I was like outside the ring. I'm just doing a push up right there, just to make sure I'm not completely outside the ring. And then Joey Avalon to come and grab me by the belt buckle, and like, yo, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Just like leave me there. It was funny.
That Joey Avalon character, I swear to God.
Yeah.
Red, we're getting deep behind the curtain tonight. How do you feel about that?
Ain't nothing different from any other show. I mean,
First of all, Red, stand up. I want to see this. I've been looking at this shirt the whole time. I almost thought you were like, oh,
that's cool.
This, man?
I like that.
So it's the actual replica from the movie. So
yeah, that's cool.
I am a huge Red fan. So
you are looking dapper tonight, son.
No, I'm just in red. That's all.
Just in red.
Stars I mean, I'm fine with it. Again, it just goes to show again, referees are an essential part of this business. And again, I mean, hell, you can get anyone to count 1, 2, 3, really. But there's so much more to it, you know. And I've seen Cristian take a bump
many times.
And I love the way, more importantly than his bump taking, I love the way he commands the ring.
Yeah.
There is, and even when I've been in there with him, there has been a sense of authority. And that is what the referee is. The referee is the authority in the match, you know. And there are some refs, you know, and you'll be like, look, shut up, you know, and they, you know, go to the corner and they cower and, you know, and they really don't say anything at that point, you know. And I want to say some point last year, I told Cristian to shut up. And Cristian looked at me and was like, no, you shut up. I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind. All right, you the man, you the man. But yeah, and here's the beautiful part about being a referee. Everybody has their
Not
own
the
style.
funny part.
Not the funny part.
Beautiful part. What do we do with the beautiful part?
Nothing.
Okay.
Turtle has his own style. 2 Count Lou has his own style. Flat Top has his own style. Cristian has his own style. Like, and that's what makes them beautiful, you know, unique in their own sense, is that each ref has their own style when they're refereeing. Yes, Steve.
Should we have a show where we have like all the referees, like get Lou, get Turtle, get Cristian, get Flat Top, just have a referee show where they all come in?
That's fine.
What would happen? That's a lot of authority. I don't know how that would work. Because referees, they're divas. You got to watch those refs.
As long as they realize this is still our show.
Go ahead, Red.
No, so I mean, again, everybody has their own unique style, but you know, I love Cristian because Cristian, to me, when I first met him, I'm like, okay, great. We got another green ref. Like, and I hate green refs.
Yeah.
Because they always get in the fucking way. Always.
Oh yeah. Oh
like,
my gosh.
That's the ref. If there's a ref that I hate that's the ref that I hate.
That was me in the drinking contest. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
Because oh my God, like either they're too far away or they're right up on you and you're trying to do a move.
I
and
pissed
you're like,
Creon off in
"Move it,
that show.
move, goddammit." Like, you know, like shit, you ain't gotta be up my ass, man. Like, damn.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
real. Like that.
And I think just look at the direction of at least WWE right now. There are former wrestlers, past and present, who have transitioned into becoming referees. And hell, to me, that's the smartest damn thing in the world. Because if somebody called me and said, "Hey, we heard you're a great manager, we want to make you a referee," shit, hand me a shirt. Okay.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, but I believe Red can do anything in a ring, so I believe that would
I've
be
ref, but I'm just saying it's smart business because it's less tear on your body, but also again, it's still an integral part, and you can't have a match. I don't give a damn what company, who you are, where you work, who you think you know. If there is no ref, what's the point?
fair.
It's just gonna keep going. It's just gonna keep going. And the one thing, like I said, I love about Cristian is he is well-rounded in everything. But the most important thing is, to me, he sticks to his times. He knows if he's reffing a match and they've got 8 to 10, I don't know how he figures it out. I don't ever think I've seen him wear a watch.
I used to wear a watch. Just got uncomfortable wearing one.
You know, but he knows some kind of way. Hey guys, all right, let's start taking it home. You know, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. We know to start taking it home. You know, so hell, I give Cristian all the kudos for that. Because there are some refs that, you know, you got 8 to 10 and shit, you in 20-minute mark and they ain't saying shit. You know. Also, since I see I'm giving flowers now. Cristian is attentive. And what I mean by that is he pays attention not only to the performers in the ring, pays attention to the crowd, but he also pays attention to his surroundings. If somebody is hurt, Cristian automatically can see and know, is this a gimmick or did something seriously happen?
That in Wrestle League.
And that's my point. Cristian saw when I got hurt, and I didn't think Cristian paid attention, but I could see his eyes get big as shit when I got hurt. But he's the only ref, you know. But one of the good things about it was after the match was over, he was one of the first ones that came to me and he asked me, "Dude, are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not." Like, my shoulder's done, dude. And they helped me to the back, but it let me know that Cristian is paying attention. And I'm not gonna say not a lot of refs, but a lot of refs would have just like, "Oh, that's part of the gimmick," and you know, okay, keep going. No, I could tell Cristian knew. And again, Cristian is a little young, but you remember the Wolf Steve from the old Tex Avery cartoons?
Yes, I
where
do.
His eyes would bulge out.
Yes, I do.
That was Cristian that night. Like his eyes, like dude, like his eyes came out, zoomed in, and
it would always be
right. looked at me and it was like, dude, no, I'm dead, dude. I'm dead. I'm dead. But all in all, and I heard earlier pre-show other things that Christian wants to do. But dude, right now you are, to me, one of the top refs in this area, dude. I appreciate any time that you referee anything that I am in, because I know it's gonna be handled the right way. And again, that's not taking anything away from other refs that are learning. But I just think, again, from the short time that I've known you, again, that was the crazy part. I was like, oh, here's this green shit. Oh, fuck, we're gonna have a horrible match tonight. And from the moment he said ring the bell, like, dude was a straight up professional. Like, as the match went on, I was like,
damn vets trying to judge a book by the cover.
you know what? But a lot of times,
that's the problem.
That's the problem. Hey, I'm sorry. But I can admit it. Christian, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I did. There's been multiple times where people, like, especially when I was clean shaved, people went up to me like, "Yo, you're super young, right?" Like, even when I wasn't reffing, I was just like helping out and like doing music and doing like green belt or timekeeping and like helping up. So like I was like 13, 14, helping out at Anarchy or helping out like whenever like where my trainer slash my brother or my elder trainer slash my brother-in-law were like working and stuff. I usually come along and like, help out wherever I can. I just love the business like that.
Look at that guy. Look at that kid. Look at that child.
Damn. The chin though. My mom always wants me to shave. I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah, you like, right there, right
it's just
there.
Like weird.
I see the Quinn resemblance right there. That's right.
Yeah.
Red, you see it now? You see it now, Red?
I see.
Hey, Red, tell the Power Hour fans what you learned 20 minutes ago. Tell them all, Mr. Vet, Mr. 20-year Windy City. Tell them all what you know now.
Hey, you learn something new every day. That's what life is about. But today, my education came in the form of that I learned
years old.
Yes, I was today years old when I learned that Christian and Quinn.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Wow.
Oh no! It's out. Hide that.
Just give Rion Skills some credit.
I love
finding the best shit. Way to go, Rion. You are the real deal.
That is my sister's wedding, actually. She got married inside of a ring, and I was even supposed to be one of the groomsmen. I was supposed to be like, I think like the flower, or not flower, but I was like one of the people that escorts people to their seats. But someone I think either like got like into like traffic or so they couldn't like show up, so they just put me in that position. And I remember earlier the day that I had these like really you know how dress shoes can be really slippery and stuff. And the floor, it was at the old Midlothian Park District before they did all remodeling and stuff. So the floor was like in the kindergarten room. Yeah, Midlothian. Yep, that's where I remember it from. But it was like really slippery and stuff. And I went to my sister's dressing room to like see how she's doing and stuff. And I slipped and fell around my tailbone. I basically took a bump in a sense. And I was like, oh dude, this just sucks. But no, thank you so much. I do appreciate those compliments and the flowers. Like it's and a lot of it, like I don't really like, and I think Joey has said, Dalton has said in the past, like, or to me at least, that he's like, there's certain things he does in the ring that he doesn't even realize. There's just things that I'm just like that are like either something that is built into me from training or just by being in the business for like my whole life, either by watching it or by helping out like with ring crew or whatever the task is. Even before repping, I just knew certain things that like how certain things should look, like just by watching like WWE or like even AEW or TNA or now NWA Power, all that stuff. Just like watching how like things are and just seeing like, okay, so why did they do this? Like asking like the right questions. Like I was always taught is always to ask the right questions.
Is that your sister's wedding cake?
I think so. I don't remember the wedding cake.
Where the hell does Rion get this shit? Hey.
my mom's Facebook, maybe, or her Facebook. I don't know.
Probably.
Rian knows how to get stuff from people, which is I always just love about him. From that, he just knows how to.
Wedding. I was at the
wedding.
wedding. I forgot about again. I don't remember a lot of things, but I remember wrestling. I remember
your family for a while, dude. Like I've known your family for a while. But
I remember used to come to the house sometimes after PCW shows. That show's always fun. But no, but again, like a lot of stuff it just happens. And I just don't know how to explain it, but like there's certain things I can explain. Like, yes, like I just did a lot of tape studying, or I just practice and then watch my matches or watch the matches I refed over and seeing, okay, what did I do here that I can do like better, or what can I do here that I can improve upon, stuff like that, basic stuff. But like a lot of it, I like you just said to me, like the ring positioning and that's just doing it constantly. Like I did like 1 month I did the most shows, which I think I think I did like 10 shows 1 month. And it was like the craziest to me. It was like we did baseball park shows, and then we were doing shows at another venue, and then I was also getting booked for other places. But I remember just doing 10 shows a month, like 1 month. And I was like, dude, I wish I can just do this. That's my job for real. Like that's the goal for me. It's like you're a producer or like whatever I can do to like be like that pays well, of course. But like whatever I can do to make a living and just be like in the wrestling business is like what I want. And like that's just always been I never like people like when you get asked when like you're 3 years old, like when you're in kindergarten, you're asked, your teacher asks you, your parent asks you, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Kids ask like police officer, firefighter, actor, sometimes all that other stuff, And I knew, not just because like I was watching it when I was like, I don't remember how long, I'm going to assume like 3, 4. Whenever I was like visibly able to remember like watching stuff, I just knew wrestling. That's all I wanted to do, is just be like in the wrestling business. And that's just been me the whole time.
Yeah, I wanted to be Han Solo. That didn't work out so well.
My mom's a big Han Solo mark, so
there you go. That's who I wanted to be.
Wow, look at that picture.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, dude, that was during Blitz. I remember that. But yeah, that was me. I don't think I was looking well at that time. Because I had the spiky hair, but also I could see my eyes were really bad at the time because I used to be sick as a kid.
So you've been doing this for 6 years, and obviously, you're refereeing right now at the highest of levels, but that's not necessarily your end game. You want to take this to be an in-ring performer, but before that could happen, you sustained an injury. Tell us a little bit about how you got hurt and what you've been doing to get yourself back where you need to be to take that step to become not only a referee, but an in-ring performer.
Yeah. Back in like November of last year, I was practicing at the Wrestling School Academy in Elston.
Shout out to Wrestle League for bringing out some of the greatest young talent. See them everywhere. Kids everywhere.
Dude, wrestling, and this is no shot against and again, I don't like drama. I hate that crap. I find that I like my wrestling and my drama separate. It's like eating it's like eating like certain things. Like I like this separate from like my steak or something like that. But I like
corn, touch my fucking potatoes.
Exactly. Thank you for exactly. I like my food touch. I don't want drama wrestling. I hate that crap. It's unnecessary.
There they are. They're the Wrestle Leaguers.
Some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life have come from Wrestle League. Like that, like Muggsy, Dixon, EJ's the sweetest person I have ever met. Like, dude, he's been so nice, especially for my injury. He's been super helpful. Without him even realizing it. Shaq's amazing. Andy's really nice. Joey and Quinn are besides Quinn being my actual brother, Joey's like basically my brother in a sense. Like I've known him for I want to say 10 years, over 10 years. Like I knew him since I was in high school, like early years high school, but like he's just been like a big brother to me, especially for this stuff. And especially for like my life and stuff. Russell has potential. Jose, like all the guys like in that picture and wrestling has so much potential, and they're so like probably the nice people I've met in my life.
What about that big brown bronze god in the middle of the photo
Oh,
there?
dude, Logan. Oh my God, Logan has been
Fucking Logan.
Logan's been like I know Logan since Blitz. And he's just been like I watch him and stuff, but like he's just the nicest guy. He teaches so well. He's super humble. He's super like he teaches humble to us when we're training. He's the best teacher I think I have. Lewis is also another great teacher because like he I can totally see him being a teacher in real life. And yeah, he's
hey, didn't Lewis knock you out, Red?
No.
No, he didn't.
I'll tell you, one of the greatest compliments I've ever been paid is when Shogun said, brother, I want you to be the voice. And then I got to come in and do commentary for Wrestle League. Just to have him say, come and be the voice of a promotion that I'm heavily invested in. That's you don't get, I mean, that's like when Marche calls me his JR. Those guys. When they say they want you to be a part of what they do, that validates everything. So I'm a big Wrestle League fan. I'm a huge mark, and I'll be there until they tell me to stop coming to Homewood. So,
no, you're always going to be welcome, dude. I love you there, and you're such a great commentator. I listen to because I go back and watch shows, and sometimes I don't like watching certain things because I know like okay I messed up here. I have a feeling, and also like I get people record matches for me too, so I just watch on my phone too. So I get instantly, I can be like, okay, I know why I messed up here, and next week I don't do that ever again. Or if I make the same mistake, like later I'll go, okay, I gotta quit it. I gotta find a way to like fix it or something. But no, you're great. You are an amazing commentator. I love your voice and the presence you bring, like the presence you bring, like to the matches and to like certain. Like I was watching the wrestling one. The wrestling anniversary show, the one with Quinn and Ewok, and oh my goodness, you were so good in that. You were so
thanks,
good.
man. Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no,
you're shut up, Red. I got to get some roses sometimes too.
Yeah. And I love Red when he does his like when he's going over matches and he's doing like and just like he goes like old school with certain things and it works. So like it's always good. But no, Logan's always been really helpful with a lot of stuff, and he's like super, super nice. And I always wanted to ref his match when I was refing and stuff. I didn't get a chance to ref his match. Even when he comes to wrestling, we always had another ref or something like that to like help train me or help like say, hey, you can fix that or something like that. Usually I'll be refing by myself, like 12 matches or something in that little gym we used to have. But that was another thing. That's how I learned to get good. Is they put me by myself in like a really heated room in front of like 100 people, like 70, 100 people in a small never like a gym, but it was a little like dojo area room we had where we set up the ring in the middle and we had people like sit or stand up. And I remember we had like 12 matches one time. I'm not even like overestimating it. Like we usually did like 8 to 12 matches a show, and like that place would be super heated because I had no air conditioning. And I remember there was no like intermission. They had to do intermission for me because they weren't even planning doing like an intermission or any promos. And I was like, oh, dude, thank you. But like, holy crap. Because I was sweating. I hate like sweating and all that stuff. Not because like, oh, a show's like working. But I hate like as a ref, I don't want to be sweating like especially like coming out and stuff because then it gets like all over the place. And I don't want it shows that the ref's also working and stuff, but I want every match I'm at to like kind of like I want to look like fresh and stuff because I'm not doing a tournament where I had to look like I'm injured unless I actually got like bumped earlier, which usually if I got bumped earlier, I would like to try and not be the next match or the next like couple matches unless like they call for it or something, unless it's a minor thing, but that's a whole nother topic.
Let's talk about Cristian the wrestler. I want to know about Cristian the wrestler.
Oh yeah.
The guy that wants to not be the ref, but to be the competitor. Take us through your motivation for that. And what's the timeline before and what is the gimmick? What's the name? How is this going to look? What am I looking for here?
Well, the gimmick name, I know I want to do something that's like for my heritage, like my Cuban heritage. I want to do something that pays tribute to that. But name, I don't really know. Like a lot of the gimmick stuff, I'm not focused on because I was told when I was like early on in my career, as like repping in the business, like, yo, don't focus on that stuff. Focus on getting just good in the ring, and then that stuff will come to you later on. So I was always like, okay, so like have some ideas, but don't think they're like this is the one unless you know it's the one, or if like it worked in front of a crowd, stuff like that. That's what I was taught. But no, so like again, like people want to be a police officer, firefighter, all that stuff. I knew I wanted to be a wrestler or in the business at least. So I'm like, okay, so I got like train and stuff. Did some backyard stuff. I'm not. It happens to everyone. I feel like if you do at least one or two backyard things, or like even like wrestling, like in your basement, or just like messing around.
I have done the backyard things.
Yeah, but I never did. But we never did light tubes, any of that other crap. No, we never did that.
Never a good time to get suplexed on a grass field. It's bad.
No, we never did that. We never did that either. It was always like trampoline or mattresses. Like it was always like fun with your friends and stuff. We never did anything that was like super dangerous. Like no one give each other a pile. Like we did the FU or the AA, the Attitude Adjustment Death Valley Driver thing, because we knew how to do certain things that we knew how to do on TV that looked safe, and we knew how to do them, or at least had the thought like, okay, we know where to put this guy and like not how to drop him on his head. And like even like choke slam and stuff, like all that stuff. But no, like going from like just like, okay, I want to do this, and then like I did a thing with my friend one time where we're in the basement or like we're outside and we're messing around, and my brother-in-law comes up and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, we're just like wrestling, we're just messing around. He's like, oh, come with me. I'm like, okay. And then he's it is Misfit Manners, Warwick Stevens, that my brother-in-law, my trainer. So he's going to so he takes me to Anarchy Pro because he was a trainer at the time there. I think this is around 2015, I want to say, or 2015 or late 2014, something like that. So he takes me to this to the place, and he's like, hey, he introduced me to all the people that I've seen and watched. Like I can't remember people off the top of my head, but people I watched on Independence. And I was like, oh my god, me as a kid at that time, like, oh my god, it's a bunch of people. And everyone's like, and then he tells them like, oh, this guy was messing around like on the mattress or something, like, basically telling them all you do is backyard. and they're all like, oh, they get all like, oh shit, I'm going to get messed up, and they all shake my hand like, yo, do the whole thing. And I like he watched me through the first, like I wasn't in the ring, but I just watched everyone like do their thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this, like I'm doing this because like I felt, because I already loved it, and I felt, and then this made me love it even more, just like seeing the more behind the scenes than I usually have in the past. Because I used to see people come to my house from PCW and crash out and see how their bodies are and stuff like that from matches and stuff. But I see how the action is and how like the drills and like the rolls, all that stuff. And I'm like, I want to do this. It's like an exception now. It's not even like I want to. It's like I need to. It's like oxygen to me now, in a sense. And that's like what is turned into. It's a necessity for me. It's what I am instead of what I want to be. It's like it's a part of me. It's a part of my life. Wrestling is. It's like I work my normal job. I do editing for extra money and just because I like it and it helps the wrestling business in certain aspects of it. And then
what is that grassy field at Rhea? Is that your backyard or something? Or is that just any backyard? Is that's where wrestling happens?
It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah,
the grass didn't look that green that I got suplexed on. But anyway, Red, you're talking about obsessions, and I've heard you talk about this when you were getting into it back in the day. You know, when you started off, it started off as I want to do this, and then you got obsessed with it. Is that kind of, does that sound familiar to you the way he's talking?
Yeah, it's a drug, dude. It's like, you know, once you get that first hit, see, there's a difference to me. there's a difference of watching it on TV. Once you go to a live event, and I'm not talking about like Allstate, because Allstate is so huge, and you could be in the nosebleed section, so you really not feeling the moment outside before I stepped through the doors of Windy City. There was a house show in Hammond, Indiana. And it was at the Armory. And Windy City had performed there before, but this was WWE. And I wanted to see, how can you put on a huge show like Raw and then come to itty bitty Hammond Armory? Dude, like, I was so close, and I was like, I want to be, yes, cocaine and wrestling is a hell of a drug.
That's what Russell's gonna look like in 20 years.
Right. Like, I was like, I gotta do this. Like, I gotta do this. Like, there was, and then to go to a Windy City show and be even closer. And I hadn't even signed papers. And to watch all these people that I had just seen on TV, like, and I'm like, oh, I've got to do this. Like, it became something where it, like, anybody that knows me, if I get obsessed with something, I get obsessed. And so wrestling was no different than anything else. You know, so when you get hooked into this business, and you're there, and Christian, his life was intertwined with
this. like a DNA strand, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure he had it bad, dude. Like, more or less, I can honestly see him sitting probably in his room talking about, when is my time? When is my time?
Yeah, it was definitely becoming a exception for me, like getting the ring. And then, like, again, high school, I was training during like my junior year of high school. And so it's just like I knew my body wasn't, because I was like 110 pounds at the time. And that's just because I was always sick as a kid, and I really I got a growth spurt the moment I was like the moment I was able to find like a sort of cure for my thing. And so when I got that growth spurt, like, okay, cool, I can maybe do this. Cause I was like 5'3", something like that. I was really small, and I was like, I don't know if I can do it. Like, now I'm like almost, like, I want to say like close to 6 foot. But now I'm like, okay, and now I'm like, okay, now I just have to build muscle so my body can withstand it now. So I go hit the gym. I started hitting the gym junior year, and then senior year I started hitting the gym even more. And then when I graduated, I started hitting the gym, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. COVID happened. Cool, because like the year after I graduated, and the year I was going like go hard on like wrestling, COVID happened. It was like the year after or something.
Well, that's
a
kick.
Yeah, and I was super depressed during that time because my love for wrestling was pretty much like what was like driving me and like keeping me away from my anxiety, all that stuff from like school and all that. I got made fun of for actually liking wrestling, and I used to get my ass beat on my way to school and my way back from school. I used to have my middle school, or not middle school, elementary school. It's like 10 minutes from my house where I used to live. And now, and then when I'll used to like walk back and stuff, and then like 5-6 kids would just jump me because I was different, because I had a learning disability. So like, oh, this guy's different. Let's beat him up and stuff. Get like black eye, get all that stuff. Have to drag my way back to my house because my legs just aren't working anymore, and they just feel numb. And like I used to like. And again, back when again I was sick and stuff, and I used to like have sleep problems because I just couldn't sleep. I couldn't do a lot of stuff. I used to curl up by like right by the entranceway at the school, because I'm super tired. I get there like I have like 20 minutes before the doors open, or sorry, something like that, because they wanted you to be in line around like 30-minute point to make sure everyone was there. So I'm sleeping in like a corner, have kids come up to me to start kicking me and stuff. You know, like I'll be like bruised from my ribs and my midsection and all that stuff. And because I used to so my sickness, right? Since I refer to a medical term instead of like the sickness. I have a thyroid disease. So there's two types of it, right? There's one where the thyroid overactivates and then it starts overactivating, and then that's like a medicine where you gotta tone it down. Kind of like the dopamines in your brain start going crazy and you gotta tone it down and stuff. And then there's the second one, which was I have, and I discovered this when I'm 8, and it's mostly in Caucasian women at 40 years old, which is funny because I'm half Cuban and I was 8 years old, and probably like when I had it was like 6'5", who knows. But my thyroid died, which is like the messenger in your brain, all that stuff. It died basically. So like it doesn't work anymore at all. So I had to take like these pills and stuff for the rest of my, I had to take them for the rest of my life. And I used to have like when I first started, when I was diagnosed, I had to like go and like do like these tests. I did a bunch of, I'm not afraid of needles because blood work got like, that's why I'm okay with like getting tattoos and stuff, because I'm used to it, the needle pressure and stuff. But I used to get my blood work done. I had needles in my neck to make sure like to like pop in like things and stuff to do like a dissection to make sure I didn't have cancer, because that can cause like that stuff like that's since it's dead, it's a dead cell, it can cause cancer, which I'll get to that. I'll get to that soon. So I used to get like ultrasounds, all that stuff, and I got like my ass beat. I got sexually harassed by some females, some of the guys. Like one time a girl, I was sitting in class. I was 7th grade, and this girl like she's like across from me, and she does like the little V thing with her tongue and stuff. And at that point, I was wearing like shorts because it was summertime, right? And I had, you know, you're growing, puberty, all that crap, and I got a thing, you know, boner. And so everyone made fun of me for that. Oh, he got a boner. After that, I started wearing jeans for like 3 years straight. I didn't wear shorts until senior year of high school, because it's just like it was super traumatic to me. Like, oh, I don't want that.
Well, hang on, Christian. Rion is calling a timeout here. Rion, go. That's your first timeout. You have 2 left.
Know that you don't have to say anything that you don't want to say.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
I know. But as I've learned through social media, that people sometimes get very comfortable, almost too comfortable in things that they're saying. They don't realize what they're saying. I'm just letting you know that, like, I know your history. I know how good of a person you are. But other people, especially nowadays, the way that social media has been used negatively, can use it in a negative light. So that's why I'm just letting you know that you can stop at any time as far as anything, as far as blurring the line. I just feel like someone needs to say something, especially with things that have been taking place the last couple months with people using stuff. So
thank you. I appreciate that, Rion.
I got you. I'm just letting you know that I got you. I'm gonna go away now. I'm gonna go away.
The Wiz is gonna go back behind the curtain as he often does.
But no, I'll skip through all that stuff. I was bullied tremendously through like middle school. Stopped getting bullied, like I want to say junior high school. That's when like people kind of saw me as like that athlete, as a man and stuff. I started growing facial hair. Like, oh, okay, like a lot of the boys I had either were gone or were like, oh snap, this guy's actually a man, and like we should take it more serious and stuff. And there's been a couple of fights I've been in, and I hold my own because I know how to hold my own. And no, it's just like all that stuff. But wrestling's always kept me like sane, you know, like it's always been the thing that kept me together, and not like I needed it and like, but it's like it's always been there, like, you know what, this is what you can look forward to, this is what you can like aspire to, all that stuff. And so then 2020 happens, COVID, all that stuff, shuts down the whole wrestling scene. And I also get laid off too when that happens. So I'm like, because I was also going to work for another place after I was going to quit, but I got laid off anyway. So I was like, oh, I'm going to work anyway. And then, oh, COVID happens, everything's shut down, no more jobs, opportunities. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And the only place I didn't know where else to work. I'm like, you know what, let's take a year off or like do something, you know. And I tried going to school again because I went to school. I was doing college and for business major, and I just wasn't feeling that connection in college. I just didn't. I just didn't know what I was. It's just like, cause I'm a good, like I got straight A's and stuff. I never had a problem with, like grades that much when I was in high school. Like there's always been like learning, like again, I had learning issues and stuff, but I was always able to like overcome that type of stuff. Um, but no, in college, it just felt weird. It wasn't there, that connection there. But no, so COVID happens, and during that time, I actually thought, because or late the year before, I was told, so we went over your ultrasound because they do like every year or so, and they were like, something looks weird on your thyroid, and we had to like do another test or something. I'm like, in my head, go straight to the negative, like, oh my gosh, I might have cancer in my neck. Uh, and like I'm freaking out this whole time. I'm like, it's gonna put me away from wrestling. It's gonna take me away from it. I'm like, and this before even COVID even happens, because by the time COVID happens, that whole situation is cleared. I'm like, oh no, it was a misread on the information, and like, oh, thanks for letting me know it was a misread on the information. Like 4 months after, and keeping me worried and having me like legit break down my car and stuff after a show because I'm afraid of losing this stuff because this is my life. It is connected to me, and it's in my DNA without even being related, without even having like a father that's in wrestling or mother that's in wrestling or anything like that. It's just been in me forever. But no, so COVID happens. Oh, we had the pandemic. I think they have a Rocket Pro tournament later that year.
Yeah, that was the tournament that was in with no crowds. It was just done in at St. Joe.
Yeah. We me and another ref were refing that. He ended up having to leave for another promotion he was working, so I ended up refing I think the last 8 matches by myself. And I was like, yo, it's like they were like, oh, do you need a break? Like, no, I'm good. So I'm used to I got build up that the endurance and all that stuff from my training, because I used to ref like 8-12 matches a show back when I started. So I was used to that. But no, it's just been like, and then when everything started opening back up, that's when new opportunities came. I went to Wisconsin for the first time ever to do refereeing. I did other shows, and just like I started growing. And I'm like, dude, it may have been because now like since COVID took it away from me and now I got it back, I wanted even more and stuff. It's a bigger passion. It gets bigger and bigger because of that. And now since COVID, I've been like, I wouldn't say on a roll, but I've been like growing steadily through like definitely the Midwest independence, because I've been like going to a lot of places that I thought I would never, like I'll be like a local rep that does like the 2 shows. And I'm like, okay, just be doing the 2 shows. And then COVID happened. Oh, that sucks. Come back, start going to like Wisconsin. I just did Indiana a couple of days ago, and that was cool for what was. Like ARW is amazing. I love the Chano and Broad.
Chano has got magic happening there.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Rocket Pro. That was actually my first. I want to say my first outside booking that's been constant.
Oh, and we're going to talk a lot about Rocket Pro.
Yeah.
As we go along in this show, there's going to be and I got a video to play about Rocket Pro, so stay tuned for that. Cristian, it never ceases to amaze me, and I think Red believes this too. You never know sometimes what somebody goes through, and we get people on this show and they reveal information that we just didn't know. I mean, your backstory is brutal, and you're still here, and you're still an ultra positive guy, and you're doing great work, and you're well respected. And I can't wait to see where you go from here. And, from where you came from, anybody else might have just said, screw it, I'm going to hide in my room and I'm not, it's not worth it. you had the temerity to get through it, to push forward because of your love of wrestling. And I think that is the most amazing thing, because I had no idea you had been through all these pitfalls, and to come out on the other side and be as talented as you are, and getting ready to transition to in-ring performer, which I think you will do beautifully, because I think that also is in your DNA. It's a testament to you and your inner strength to get through such dark situations. And everything you talked about is dark and has ruined people, and you didn't let it ruin you. And that says a lot about your strength of character. And I think that's a lot of what's missing in the business right now. I think there are a lot of people that don't have strength of character, that have a lot of pull in this business. And that's why it's such a crazy time right now, because you've got people that are good people, and you got people that, are not necessarily great. And it's a great divide right now. And, we're hoping at some point, we can all come together and make it great for everybody, because I think it's a beautiful industry and there are beautiful people. If we could just all get along, that would be so much better than not.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But no, my mom, dude, my sister, my brother, my dad was he was great. I love my dad because I respect. I'm not really a religious person, really. I'm like kind of like I'll just I kind of like whenever it pops up, it pops up. But I do believe in the fact that you should still respect your father in some aspect, or at least respect the fact that they gave birth to you, and like thank you for giving birth, or thank you for helping me give birth, or what the hell, that whole thing. My dad was always a weekend dad, and then when I went to high school, he left for Florida because he had a job opportunity there, and so I didn't really get to I see him like once a year maybe, and it kind of just like it feels like that, and just like we've been trying to work stuff out. So like I'm glad that we've been trying to work stuff out instead of I'm never going to talk to you ever again. I don't want that on my mind. I don't want that, because like why should I have that burden of if he dies the next day? Oh, I'm so sad I didn't get to talk to my dad at all, or like even like say I'm sorry, or not even say sorry, but just like confront things, But we are growing a lot better from that. But no, my mom, my brother, my sister, my family, my father's side of the family, my cousins, like there's been so much it took a village. Ever heard the phrase, it took a village to raise a child?
Takes a village.
It was even Rion, he might not even know what parts he took place in, but he's been helpful a lot. People from Peace, when I was growing up in PCW, people used to watch me, like when people were doing stuff or just babysitting. Like there's always been someone, and it's always been like a gratitude. And I can never. For me to think everyone is going to take a whole list of people, and it's going to be
We would need to
hours.
have you back for another episode.
Yeah, for real. But no,
Christian, thanks everybody.
Yeah, for anyone that knows what they did, thank you. Like for real, because it took a village to raise me and stuff, and it took I saw the dedication my mom puts into her work, and the dedication my brother does to put into his matches and his work, and even Joey with the dedication he does, especially coming back from his foot injury, and that's what's that's where he's been really helpful with the injury I had, because I partially tore my tricep back in November. I did some dumb springboard stuff. I'm probably never going to do again, or at least be like, oh, I can do it. Oh, I didn't let go of the rope. Cool. But no, some dumb stuff like that. But I know that I have people to not even look out, but just to give me yo, either tell me that I messed up, or tell me how to fix things, or at least tell me not guide my hand towards things, but tell me how I can make amends or do something right. And that's what I'm always been grateful for, is just vets or people that kind of help me learn through wrestling, and help me little notches to fix things and stuff. It's just always been great. It's always been a privilege.
Amazing. And like I said, both C Red and I are dads in our own right. And I have to tell, I mean, I don't know if I'm speaking for Red. I'll let Red speak for himself, but if you have a child that is able to get through a very tumultuous time to come out on this side and to be so productive and good spirited. Speaking for dads around the world, we're proud of you, dude. You are someone that should be applauded for your efforts, because it takes a strong person to get through such difficult personal situations and still be a good person and be good in a climate like wrestling. You're a good locker room person. Locker rooms are better off for you being there. So if your dad hasn't told you, then I'm going to say it. We're proud of you, dude. You're a great human being, and we love having you around.
Thank you. Really do.
Man, this last week we had Cactus Rack Appreciation. We're finding all about Cristian tonight. A lot of these episodes right in the fields. We got a shot from Nightmare in Elgin with
that was so fun. I love that. That was the funnest time I had in the past couple months. That was like non-business, because it was a nice it was a nice show to like people that never really watch wrestling to come like around. It was such a great experience. I never experienced anything like that. I don't think. It was a nice show. I love it.
Information liaison knows no bounds. Cristian, you are something else, and we appreciate what you do, and we look forward to seeing where you go from here, not only as a referee and one of the best ones, but I can't wait to see what you do once you're fully recovered from your injury and you're able to transcend and become a wrestler as well. I think it's going to be amazing. Red, why are you shaking your head, man?
Can you imagine him and his brother?
Oh my God.
It's like a Midwest version of Cody and Dustin.
Oh,
no, dude, like, oh my God. Like, no.
Just don't paint your face gold, dude. Don't do it.
Like, that's scary.
I love that photo.
Oh, there's that dude right there. There he is.
Them together.
Yeah.
Me, Joey, and Quinn together.
Oh.
We're gonna call you Cristian Wittick.
And then
oh no.
then you wonder why I'm retired. I'm good.
It's a whole bunch of springboards. That's all it is. It's springboards everywhere, coming from every corner.
It's funny
I'm
because
good.
Quinn
I'm good.
doesn't even do that anymore.
That's
Quinn just does like one or two things, and he's like, "Oh, I'm out."
He
doesn't even like doing springboards. He doesn't even like try. He just does the evasion stuff, but he doesn't do like the crazy springboard stuff like he used to. Because he's like, "Nah, I don't want my body going for that anymore." But no, it's always but yeah, like that's also a dream. It's just so I do stuff with him and Joey in ring besides refereeing, of course. I've ref tons of their matches against them tagging, stuff like that. And it's always fun to rep their stuff, of course.
You gotta love Team Death Wish.
Yeah,
hey, there's Mr. 100.
And it's always like, and they always try to like give me or like request me and stuff. But it's always like a pleasure to me when people like go up to me like, "Yo, I want you as my ref," or like when I saw Logan, or not saw Logan, but when Logan was training and stuff, I don't think I ever refed a Logan match until Rocket Pro. And I was like trying so hard to like show him like, "Oh, you should like request me," because he always had like a referee he usually gets or something like that. But I was like, I'm trying to like I want not to show up. I want to like impress people, be like, "Yo, I want to be requested," because that's a big honor to me. And then one day, I think it was like a wrestling or something. I did one of his matches, and he was like, "Yo, dude, you did really good." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that." And then like he requested me again. Like he did like. But the thing is, like, people don't have to like say it to your face, but like people would just like write on the board, like, "Yo," or the booker write on the board and be like, "Yo, this guy wants you." And then after the match, you like feel that like accomplishment that like, "Yo, this guy that's kind of like a big name and stuff wants me." It's kind of like, oh snap, like, and it's like that's the big like smile on getting my face when people like either request me or tell me, like, even when I'm not even reffing their matches and they go like and they're watching it from the back and like, "Dude, you did this and this," and it was like, oh. All that stuff. I was like, "Oh, dude, that's like such a great compliment, like such a great honor to like get compliments like that." Because a lot of people don't even like some people do compliment refs. Some people just like don't like. Some people don't notice certain things, and they're like, "Oh, he's just doing his job and stuff." And then people like you guys who notice the little things and stuff, like, "Oh, even if I don't even notice them, you guys notice them, and like, oh, he does this, and like, oh, I wish other people do that. Like, like for real, it's always an honor to be complimented.
Well, I think it's important to let people that are doing good work know that they're doing good work, because it's motivational too. If you give somebody a compliment, then the next time they do their match, you're going to remember that, and you're going to want to work even better and harder to make them better. And it's all symbiotic. We're all in this together. And I said that at the beginning of the show. Wrestling is a community and a family. And obviously there are some bad apples in every family, but
Yeah.
if we could just come together and be a good community, I think the business could be even better. I think it wants to be even better, but like I said, we got to see where it goes, because you never really know where it's going to go. Like this Saturday night in Joliet, we have Rocket Pro Wrestling Spring Break, and I presume the referee that calls it right down the middle is going to be there.
Yeah, I definitely, dude. I love Rocket Pro. It's like, it's such a great, like, the production, everything they do is so like nitpicky, but I love that. That's the thing I love. I want wrestling to look unique. Every company should look unique, because if it looks the same, it looks the same. But like the production they do, the wrestlers there, like the ring, everything. Same thing with like ARW, the production they do. DWA has a great production as well. Frontline Pro, amazing production. Like I think IPW has really good. Like I love IPW's atmosphere there, because it feels like something. It has a feeling to it.
The best thing about IPW is you never know what the fuck is going to happen. Anything can happen at IPW.
No, I remember my first time I went there, because I talked to Rian. I was like, "Yo, can I do a ref, like, well, at least like one match?" He's like, "Oh, just come to the show." Like, oh, okay, cool.
I'll give you what you want, but there's always a catch. That's the mantra at IPW.
It was I think the first time I went there was the tournament. I think it was a medallion tournament or something. It was back in like March last year or April last year. And they did tournament, and me and Saints were me and Damien Saint were in the locker room. And I was like, "Oh, what, like, do you know like how many matches and stuff?" He's like, "Oh, I'm assuming there's like 8 matches." And then we come to learn it's like, "Oh, we're doing the whole tournament in one day, so it's like 60 matches." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I love that. I'm down for that."
IPW.
Yeah, even though I didn't expect it, I was like, "Yo, like, I'm cool with that." Like, because most people be like, "Oh, like," and they had to like ref like however many matches. But I was like, "Cool, okay." Like, it's like it's hot. But you know what? I like doing it. I get to be in the ring. I get to do what I love. Some people don't even get that opportunity. Some people don't. Some people just like sit at home, do their 9-to-5 job, and then just go home and do their stuff. I get to live my dream.
Play on WWE 223K, and they type on their computer.
Yeah, but I get to live my dream. I get to live my passion, my drive, and this is the business. And I get to be a part of it. And I don't care how many matches I have to ref. I don't care if I have to do a whole show by myself. I don't care if I do one match, or because I had a conversation in the past where when I was still during the business, I got mad. I'll admit that I did get mad one time, and then I got told no. I got told off. I'm like, I'm never going to do that ever again. You're not going to hear that from me ever again, because I know not only like knowing my place, but it's just knowing that you gotta be humble whatever you get, because some people don't even get a slice of the cake or even like an inch of the cake. Some people just get like a crumb. And if you just give me a crumb and I show you what I can do, then you can start giving me a little piece until I get that full slice, and etc. And that's what I come to like learn from my failures and my mistakes I made in the past, is that there's always a little, even when you get a crumb, it's what's the word? Even when you get a crumb, it is still a step forward.
It's a learning experience.
Yes, that it's a learning experience. It's always a learning experience, because you always learn something. Even if you do a squash match, it's like 5 minutes. Like I said, there's little bits and pieces I can pick up from how they call the match and how they the presence in the ring and how they do certain things and stuff like that.
Well, there are going to be lots of crumbs and maybe even some slices this Saturday night. I want to play this promo. This dropped, I think today, as when I saw it and shared it. we got a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts at Rocket Pro, but I was not expecting this.
Oh, is that Flash?
Take a look at this. Who's that?
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, he's.
What is my what? Hang on. We're having technical difficulties. That never happened.
I see. I see.
he sees indeed.
I got it now. Hang on. Don't go away. I got this. I don't have Rion's skills. Let's put it that way.
You know Christian Rose, right? Yeah, I know Christian. Now look. Supposed to go against him this Saturday, but you can talk him out of it, right? Tell me here. This Saturday. This Saturday at Rocket Bro. You versus Christian Rose. Yeah. And you want me to call Christian and get this match not you ain't gotta watch taken out and like you gotta get it canceled. Just tell him that I ain't mean what I said. Tell him that what you said. I ain't mean it. You didn't mean it. I ain't mean it. I can't do that. You can't do it. Did you say it? Say what? That I think. I'm not going. No. Stop.
Wait for it.
Dude, I love Flash. He's such a nice guy. Every time I see him, he's such a nice guy.
He's such an idol, such a piece of idol. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The important part of that promo is there was the Rocket Pro Wrestling label on it, and there was C Red in an official Rocket Pro promo video. Red, WTF, what's happening?
Ain't nothing what's happening, man. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, you are officially in a promo for Rocket Pro Wrestling. I mean,
Hey, man.
What are you teasing?
I'm not teasing.
It's like watching the Guardians of the Galaxy teaser promo. And when we saw the Wakanda Forever, we got teased with Namor. We saw this promo, we're getting teased with C Red. What's cooking?
Nothing, man. You just saw somebody that's near and dear to my heart, and he was in a situation, and it was the one time that I just couldn't fix it. So, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I'll let you play coy and stuff, but it seems like Rocket Pro Wrestling has a number of members of the Power Hour, and if C Red finds his way to Joliet, then the Power Hour is united.
The 3-man power trip.
we had 4 because Cactus.
Oh yeah, 4. Yeah,
managed Andy there. So
she's going. Yeah, she's going to be there,
Pro.
right?
Huh?
She's going to be there, right? Because I think Annie's in a match, right?
No, if there's a God in heaven, she'll be there. But like I'm saying, we got 3 members of the Power Hour there. It would be great to unite the powers of the Power Hour, if you get what I'm saying.
The powers.
We got 4. Not that 4, but 4 nonetheless. All right, let's break down this card. We've got a hell of a card.
Right.
Yeah, I see some of it. It's really, I like a lot of it, actually.
Let's talk about it. I mean, we're all here. We've got a 3-on-1 handicap match because Damian Saint, our general manager, he shows flashes of brilliance. And let's face it, give the devil his due. Standing room only since December, since he took over. So
yeah, that's crazy to me.
You got to give Damian Saint kudos for being, one of the top GMs in the game, and that's coming from a GM in the game. So much love to Damian Saint. However, often gets drunk on his own power because his undeniable unit, Ryan Matthews, Skylar Reed, and Devin August are taking on one Aaron Stone. Red, even 3-on-1, I think the undeniable are undeniably outmatched. with the Dream Breaker. What say you of this match? I mean, yeah, you got two Canadians and a diva. I mean, that they are undeniable, but I don't know when he
I
starts
mean,
those chops.
yeah, but again, it's the numbers game. It's the numbers game. I know the numbers game. And I mean, maybe this is his only way he feels he can slow down, chop him down the size, whatever you want to, you know. But, I got to go with the numbers game. And I mean, I'm not necessarily, I know Aaron Stone can hold his own, but there's a difference, if he's one on one with somebody in the ring, and now you got two other guys jumping him from behind. I mean, uh, remember, we are the one. We are the ones. So I mean,
you and I disagree. Stone's going to beat them all stupid. That's what's going to happen there. Stone's going to win that in a cakewalk.
he might.
Ref, what do you think? I mean, that's a healthy competition.
Now hold on.
Hey. I can't place bets. I already signed a contract. It's
right. I was getting ready to say he can't.
Well, we don't know if he's reffing that match. We don't know about that.
Right,
well,
but
I'll say this. I'll say this. Stone has a lot on his plates. He's been having a lot of his plates since he won. I want to say since the Undeniables have been formed. And just like it's going to take a lot. I know I've been in the ring, reffing his matches. He has all the potential in the world to do whatever he wants. It's legit just going to be up to him if he can withstand whatever. But no, I have already. Every time I get brought into a promotion, this is a legit thing. We signed a contract saying that we will not I might ref Quinn's match, or I have ref Quinn's match before, but I have signed contracts saying you are blah blah blah. You are supposed to call this right down the middle, no matter what you do, all that stuff. So, and I get fined if there's any favoritism and stuff. That's why when I wasn't that one time I wasn't there and Saint turned on RPW during that multi-man tag match, I was astonished because I was like, how this man get away without even getting fined? We get fined a lot of money if that happens. We get fined we get fined some hefty amount of money for that stuff. If there's something that if it's a wrong call, then either then we can't if I get knocked out, I can't see what's happening, so I'm not gonna get fined for anything that gets used when I'm knocked out. But if there's any favoritism, like a fast count, or if there is a ref intentionally doing stuff, there's repercussions. So that's where. But no, it's definitely gonna be a challenge for him. But we'll see. A lot of this match, this card in general is really good. I think Rocket Pro always nails it with their card and their production, their performance and stuff. It's always great.
Well, we won't hold you to anything here. We don't want you to get in trouble. There's a triple threat tag team match, and I'm not even going to go over this because if the final level is in it, then the final level going to win it. There's no tag team that I see on the landscape right now that can touch Logan and Marche as a unit. So there are two other teams in this match. And there's some pretty good wrestlers, but they won't make it through the final level. Game over is what I'm saying. And that is going to be a hell of a match because watching Marche Rocket and Chris Logan do their thing together, that finisher, game over, the super kick into the M80 might be the most devastating thing I've ever seen in my lifetime. So final level, much like the ARC, over everyone. We have a contract signing. Damian Saint is going to be the mediator of the contract signing between Rion Skills and Maximus Orion for the Intercounty Championship happening at the season finale, Kicks on 66. Contract signings very rarely go the way you would think. I know Rion is here. Rion, what say you about your contract signing? Have you ever been in a contract signing before in your illustrious 20-plus year career?
Yes.
What do you foresee happening on Saturday?
Everything.
And you care to elaborate on that or no?
Nope. Because you already know how I feel about talking on here, especially since I've already explained literally everything on this show.
Just making sure you haven't developed any new opinions that we haven't heard about yet.
Oh, don't worry. I already developed one now that I'm not going to say on here.
Why do I feel like I'm going to get lectured again? Anyway, I got another question for you, Rion. Are you pulling double duty Saturday night?
Yes, I am.
You're stealing my job.
All you have to do is get there.
So I love this, and I'm going to talk about it. I love this. Rion Skills makes his debut at Chicago Knockouts Roller Derby because I can't be there because I'm commentating from 5 to whenever it ends. Rion is stepping in, and he and Ocho are going to probably do the best job commentating that Roller Derby has ever seen. And I'm going to get that call from Crimson Vixen saying, about next month, ... So I ain't even mad at you because I think it's great. There are a few people that know roller derby at so quick into the business. Rion is a student of the game. Rion, I'm very happy that you are taking my place Saturday night for the knockouts. At least I know it'll be in good hands.
Thank you.
Oh, let's move on, shall we? Let's move right on. We talked a little bit about it. We showed you the promo. Flash Harris has shot off his mouth one time too many, and he has got a date with old evil Christian Rose, which means Big Iron is coming out and is going to mess up Flash Harris's pretty face. Red, your boy's out of his depth, man. I mean, when he makes fun of me and, beats me up, that's one thing. He's going into the ring with the Dreamwave champion. He's going into the ring with an icon in this business. Christian Rose is going to make him weep like a child and go, oh, damn, in a different octave than he's ever had before. What say you about this? Red got nothing to say because he knows there is no scenario that Flash comes out. I mean, all the idols could come out and Rose will kill them all.
No, I mean, again, numbers game, but then you got them damn Coyotes, they around, and I mean, it's back to what it's been, the Coyotes versus the idols. But Flash Harris will put on a strong showing.
Well, Flash Harris is a fine entertainer, and it will be entertaining as hell to watch him get his ass kicked. And I will describe every delicious blow that he takes as Christian Rose is pistol whipping him.
Well,
Red, you're good, but you can't explain your way out of this one. Red, you can explain your way out of a wet paper bag in July. You ain't explaining this one because your boy is about to get fucked up.
Well, I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe, maybe somebody intervenes that's not an idol.
Sky is blue, water's wet. Flash Harris is going to get his ass kicked Saturday night in Joliet. The Outer Limits Championship match. I am looking forward to calling this match almost more than any other on that card. Gunner Brave basically owns Joliet at this point. He is its favorite son. And he is taking on one of the biggest stars in the Midwest right now. The man holds gold everywhere. I am very familiar with this man. It is one Axel Rico. And Gunnar Brave has been challenged lately by many. He's got the match coming up in May with Connor Hopkins. He had that tay-to-tay with Dillinger last month. Axel Rico is going to push Gunnar Brave to his limits. Can Gunnar Brave take down the machismo?
I was going to tag against them. It has to be with Joe. It's nothing they're going to do, but like,
what is that? You hear that?
Oh, hold on.
Who is it? What the hell's going on? Suddenly I hear somebody talking. You heard that, Red. Red, you and I are like, what the fuck is happening?
That is because the house is really echoey. That's my bad.
you got Quinn somewhere in there up to no good.
Yeah, he's playing his next evil deed, I think. But no, this
He probably is. He got a triple threat match on Saturday.
Whittick, you bastard, stay off the power hour.
No, it's super hot today. Sounds like, dude. I have like a fan going on, and I also have the door open a little bit, so there's ventilation going around the whole area.
All right, so that's hey, listen, hey, that's fine, that's funny. Red, Axel versus Gunnar.
Gunnar.
Well, that's it.
I'm not gonna say Axel isn't gonna push him, but Gunnar.
I have seen Axel Rico doing amazing things, and it would certainly spoil the May party if Gunnar Brave isn't the Outer Limits champion in his conquest against Connor Hopkins. So I think Axel Rico is full of surprises. I'm going to go with Axel Rico, but I know it's going to be one of those matches that we are going to talk about for a long time. And speaking of Connor Hopkins, of those damn Coyotes, he has got a singles match against public enemy number one, Eric Dillinger. And if I was excited about calling Rico versus Gunnar, I'm just as excited to call Dillinger versus Hopkins, because I think Dillinger is one of the most entertaining people I've ever seen. And Hopkins is a big match guy. So, Red, I mean, it's the unstoppable force of the immovable object right here. Dillinger's tough, but Hopkins has got that drive, man. And, he's one of those guys you got to kill him to beat him.
Yeah, but Dillinger is, his name alone incites fear. I mean, it's Dillinger, dude.
It's hard to believe Dillinger loses, especially since last month it was pieces of his flesh hanging on that barbed wire after that match that nobody should have to see without guidance.
That was super gruesome. I was repping that match, and the amount of violence that he has, or the violence that he was withstanding in that match, and he was giving out, was crazy. Something I've never seen before, being honest.
Let us hope for a moment, Cristian, that you are not reffing that crazy 6-man scramble match, because sweet Jesus, this is a who's who of up and coming and here and now guys.
It's a talent pool.
You have got Shaq Jordan. Now, whenever I introduce Marche Rocket, I always call him 6-tool talent in a 5-2 world. Shaq, kind of along those lines, 6-tool talent in a 5-2 world, taking on Kevin K to the Idols, who is the enforcer of the Idols, taking on the Bionic Glove and all the glory that is Hot Rod Daddy Andy Baby. And then you've got your brother, Joey Dalton, who we've talked about a lot tonight, Mr. 100. And then we've got one of the most underrated and popular guys in this sport right now, the family zone Muggsy James. And then we have the most over reptile we have ever seen on planet Earth, the amazing turtle of the JFW podcast, in one of the most exciting character-driven 6-man scrambles I've ever seen. And people know I'm a big fan of the scramble match. Red, how do you see this going?
Any way it wants to. Shit.
Who's winning that match?
Turtle.
After they showed down at IPW, C-Red is still showing Turtle of JFW the love.
I know Turtle. I know Turtle. And Turtle would be smart enough to let everybody else beat each other down so he can find somebody he can shell shot and take the pin. I know Turtle. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna mix it up with anybody, but I can see Turtle waiting for the right time and just going in there shell shot, and while everybody else is beating the hell out of each other, he comes away with a W. I can see it.
I look up and down these 6 men, and I have seen.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either if you pick
No.
anybody in there.
No, you really can't. I love Turtle, and I would be grateful to see him win it. Dalton, if he wins it, that would be amazing too. Hot Rod Daddy Andy, the place would come apart unglued. Shaq, he's the guy that probably is the most likely to win the match. And Kevin Cade, he's the only guy there that has no shot, and that's because I'm biased of my idol hatred. But I keep looking back at this picture, and I keep looking at Muggsy, and I've watched Muggsy do very impressive things without getting the kudos and the adulation and maybe the respect that he's due. And I don't know. Maybe this is the night that Muggsy James takes it home and cashes in on this opportunity at Rocket Pro.
Could be.
It's anybody's match. Red is absolutely right about that. Then we have Family Feud without Steve Harvey or Richard Dawson. It's No Coast and Yes Coast and Gold Coast and all the coasts in between. We have got, it's just crazy. I don't know what's going to happen in this match. Trevon Wolf and Brian Krazer are the people that are advertised in the match. But DC Shaw is going to be there. Joey Blues is going to be there. And returning after a brief departure will be the therapist, our friend of the show, so to speak, Davison Sarai returns to Rocket Pro Wrestling. And she makes everybody just a little uncomfortable when she is up to her tricks. Red, can Wolf pull off the upset, or is Davison Sarai the X factor?
Does anybody care?
Santino cares. Santino cares deeply.
Do I care? What about
Santino's cutting promos from Wisconsin Dells about this damn thing.
Do I care that he's got
the water park wants to know who's gonna win?
No, they don't. No, they don't. They walked past and looked at him like, no.
I mean, do you know how many times Santino has had this match with his action figures? I think maybe he's the only one that knows how this is really going to go.
I will say though, I have refed. I think both encounters. I think they both have like 2 singles matches already. I'm pretty sure I refed 2 of their matches back to back months, and it's a lot of family drama. It's a lot of drama in that, and like the tension and stuff.
How do you keep Davison Sarai out of this business?
I don't know. It's going to be up to them to see how they can do that, but it's definitely going to be a lot of interesting things going on in that match for sure. Definitely, especially because of the past couple of matches they had and a lot of the drama that's been building up. So it is going to be interesting to see how this family drama plays out for sure.
It is going to be one of those matches that might be hard to watch. We have the tag team championships on the line as the Idols, Nye and God, I just can't look at his quaff. I just can't look at it. Damian Gray defend their title with Joey and Roxy in their corner against Brooks Berna and Damian DeShane, the two damn Coyotes. The Coyotes and the Idols are at war, and they've been at war for a long time. And is this the time where the Coyotes retake their birthright? Red, what do you think?
And your new Rocket Pro tag team champions.
I'm inclined to agree. I'm inclined to agree because I think the Coyotes should beat the Idols every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Also,
I just think it's their time. So,
well, I hope it's their time. Everybody there hopes it's their time, and the LIM also hope it's their time. And speaking of the LIM, the lovely intoxicated Ben, it's the return of Chet Gunderson with the LIM. So Chet's back. The LIM are here to support him. Hopefully he doesn't get dragged away like he did the last time. And if those of you that listen to the JFW podcast, PX from the LIM co-hosted with Turtle in Travis's absence, and that was hilarious. And he said a lot of nice things about us. So thank you, PX, and thank you, Turtle. Catch JFW podcast wherever you find good podcasts. I think they even said nice things about you, Christian. So you might want to check out that podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I check a lot of things out here and there, but yeah, I watched their show I think like once or twice, but it's a great show though. I love a lot of of wrestling related stuff because you get different perspectives on people's opinions and people's view of wrestling. So it's always nice to take.
And
that.
Turtle was the show driver tonight. I can't wait to hear next week's when Travis is back and he reacts to the chaos they created. It was good fun to listen. And then, of course, we have that big triple threat match for the RPW title. You see the graphic up here on the screen. We have the mercenary Garrison Creed, who is one of the most violent men I have ever seen work. The last time I saw him at RPW, he waterboarded a guy in a match. Waterboarded. Put the bag on his head, drown him in water. That happened at Rocket Pro. And then you've got the return of Koa Laksamana, the Hawaiian hitman, the master of the Red Wave Army. And that Red Wave Army is taking Joliet by force. That place will be rocking. And the only person that disregards their body and well-being more than, say, Quinn Whittick and Gunnar Brave is Koa Laksamana. So he is on a suicide mission to win and will stop at nothing. And then, of course, you have the innovator of sexy violence. You have the man that has quite a few gold straps. You have a man that is one of the most opportunistic wrestlers I have ever seen. You have Quinn Whittick, your champion. And he's been the champion for a while for a reason, because he seems to be smarter than everybody else in the room. And his promo that he cut seemed to very much indicate that he is going to be the guy smarter than everybody else in that room. Red, what do you say about that?
how do you bet against Quinn?
I
How?
don't know.
And I'm not even saying he's gonna be the smartest guy in the room. He's the one that just doesn't give a damn. So I mean, I can see him doing something so insane. He's not gonna give a damn.
He's
As
got
long
that
as he
robot.
walks away with the damn title. And he's got a crowbar. So I mean, that always comes in handy.
Yeah, let's hear from Quinn.
Oh, he's somewhere. He's somewhere.
No,
And
hang on. No, hang on. I got Quinn right here.
oh, you got him on the. Oh, okay.
Me, who's always on something well with breath in my pocket, holding something a little supportive. Across from Koa Laksamana, and Garrison Creed, two of the most absolutely jacked men I have ever met face to face. Two of the most thinking about all these big, small, passionate pro wrestlers, and now you can go into like damn near any locker room on the face of the planet, and you will find at least 10 guys who are willing to talk your face off for an hour and a half. How they think they are the most passionate guy to ever lace up a set of boots. You know, one kid's good. Yeah. You're really passionate all for people. People have gone very far. This is like this happened to me because I am obsessed. Not obsessed with having the best look, not obsessed with being the smallest guy, being the strongest guy, being the fastest guy, with getting the most over or selling the most shirts. No, I am obsessed with being the smartest guy. When I think about all the muscle and the power and the strength that's going to be across the ring from me on April 15th in the middle of Joliet, it is a little intimidating being my size, but then I think about the lack of brain cell that's going to be in the ring. You don't say. Sexy violence feels perfectly at home.
There it is, a message from the champion. Red, go ahead, Christian.
I want to say this. So we talked about my session with this business, right? Quinn's session with this business is on a completely different level. This match, like I'm probably gonna, I don't know who's gonna be calling it. Like I don't know if it's me, Braylon, Ref Dave. It's me. It's one of the referees. But this match, right? It's about session for the Rocket Pro Championship. You have 3 guys in there who are obsessed with this business and obsessed with championship goal and success. And really it's going to depend on who wants it more. So we'll see who's willing to do whatever it takes for this match. Really, that's my personal opinion on that.
You might be right about all of it. And Quinn's desire and his obsession, he wants to be the smartest guy in the room. Red, you just saw that passion in that man. I mean, he was talking about passion in a past tense. That seemed pretty passionate to me.
I'm not saying he ain't passionate, but the elevator don't go all the way up to the top floor.
Are you calling Quinn crazy?
Not
like
to
bag
his
of
face.
cats crazy? Batshit crazy?
Not to his face. I'm not.
Oh, we would never say that to his face.
So
I don't want to get punched. Unintended. So Koa's tough, and Koa is going to bring an army with him. The mercenary can beat anybody at any time, especially when he waterboards. But there is a sick, twisted side to Quinn Whittick that I can't quite quantify. And that, I think, is the X factor in that match. Boy, it's going to be a hell of a time in Joliet Saturday night. Doors open at 4, 5 o'clock is bell time. Tickets are available, but you better get there early because it's standing room only, and I don't expect this to be any less. Come on out and see what's happening. If you can't make it to Joliet, then go over to Homewood, the HF Auditorium, and check out the knockouts. It's the Haunters and the Punk Rock Punishers. That is going to be a hell of a show. Our Cactus will be there. Rion will be there eventually. And there will be a lot. I mean, we got the Bros that do security there. I believe Russell TD, not TD, Russell All-Time. Why do I still call him that? Anyways, Russell will be there. Jamie Salmons has been tapped to be the photographer for the knockouts for the night. So congratulations, Jamie. A well-earned adulation, and I'm sure you will be great and do the knockouts proud. So that's happening at Homewood. There's the graphic right there. Punishers, Haunters, they'll all be there in some form or fashion. Beware like a boss, because She may be Boss Ivy at this one, but there's just that there's something otherworldly about her. Plus Marley Quinn, Cactus Rack. The cast goes on and on. They're so good. They're so talented. It's going to be a great show. So you got a lot of places to go this Saturday night. Rocket Pro, Roller Derby. You've got your pick. Cristian, you have been an eye opener tonight. You have been a fantastic guest. Your candor and dealing with very, very difficult topics that even brought Rian in to kind of shepherd you through them is nothing short of revelatory. You are a good man, and to get through the tribulations that you've been through with all that you've had to deal with has made you even bigger in my mind. So thank you for sharing your story with us. I can't wait to see your next chapter when you're healed and you get to wrestle. And, I'll always be a big fan of right down the middle.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, but like what you say, like referees don't get a lot of credit. Like camera people, like you're saying, photographers, they don't get there's so many intricate, it's not just the wrestlers. It's the ring crew. It's the people that help with productions. It's the producers, the editors, people who make the magic come to life. Like you think WWE, like you think there's just like the wrestlers and the referee. There's a lot more going on. Like at Frontline Pro, which their big shows coming up, Honor Bound, April 29th at Appleton, Wisconsin. It's going to have Billy Gunn, Tatanka, all those big names. I'm basically the producer of that show, and it's such a big task because it's not only just you have to make the spectacle a bigger thing, even with big names like Billy Gunn and Tatanka on there, but you have to edit it. You have to also just so many things. Like right now, I'm pretty much like going over the last show we just did, Call to Arms. I'm going over that show. I've just got the text from Ben McCoy, who just told me it's all good. Just put all those stuff I need to, and we're all good. Which you will see that on Premier streaming service, which is a great streaming network. But no, it's just like there's little things in wrestling a lot of people don't notice, and like most of the fans, because they're focusing on what they should be focusing on, the wrestlers and their action. But there's so much that goes into wrestling. It's not just one or two things. It's hundreds and hundreds of things, and that's what I love about wrestling. That's why I want to do not just one job or two jobs. I want to do as much as I can, and that's what I love about. Yeah, that card's amazing. That card, like speaking of Rocket Pro, this card. What's the next show? I'm trying to Night of Super Wrestlers. That's gonna be an amazing show. I'm privileged to be doing something there. Whether it's repping or whatever they need me to do, but like it's always an honor to like be part of these shows, because you see multiple things going on, and you see the amount of attention people like pay when they're setting up the shows or they're doing certain things with other stuff. It's amazing all the time. But thank you for having me on the show. It's a privilege. It really is. Thank you.
Well, we loved having you. And it's funny you mentioned Night of the Super Wrestlers, because that's coming up a week from Sunday. And next week on the Power Hour, Billy Wack returns to talk about Night of the Super Wrestlers. And maybe, just maybe, CM Venom will be on with him. And it is going to be the Super Wrestlers Go Home show. So if you want to know more about what Cristian was just talking about, what he's going to be a part of, there's the graphic. Tune in to the Power Hour next week as we get the masterminds behind the Super Wrestlers to tell us what we need to watch at Concord Music Hall, because I'm going to be there watching that. I get to be a fan. The tickets have been bought. I'm riding up there with Nuke. Me and Nuke are going to be in the house enjoying the hell out of what should be one of the most magnificent rights wrestling has seen in a minute. So next week, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Cristian, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. Red, getting to do a show with you every week, it's what makes my life great. So thank you. And we got Rian. Thank you, Rian, for doing all that you do. Cactus, we missed you tonight. I hope your train got power and you were able to get home at some point. Hot Rod Daddy,
Right.
thank you for the update on Cactus's condition. And hopefully she'll be back next week as we move on to super wrestlers. Great show tonight. Thank you, Cristian. We look forward to seeing you this weekend. We love you, and keep calling that shit right down the middle. For the sensation and the real deal and the Cactus, I am Steve. We'll see you next week on the Power Hour. Good night, everybody.